All right, hello YouTube channel. I'm back. It's been a while. It's over the summer. I figured that in order to keep my knowledge of the league up, I'd force myself to do a couple VOD reviews of good games before I head off to my summer job, which is camp, which is in about 2 weeks. I think orientation is June 12th and it's May 31st now at 1 in the morning. So perfect time to go over a game. LCK played for the first time last night, and Longzhu displayed their new roster against KT, who didn't have any roster changes over the break. Excuse me. Notably, Longzhu, they kept their bot lane, Prey and Gorilla, but they changed out their top laner, jungler, and mid laner. And it's notable because BDD, everyone's hyping him up as the next Faker. That's the reputation he has. Apparently, he's really good at solo queue. He's been rank 1 in Korea a couple times. Same as their jungler, Cuz, who is currently rank 2, and rank 1 is actually Prey. So they have a pretty impressive lineup. I know it was tweeted out today. Currently, Prey is rank 1 in solo queue, Cuz is rank 2, and BDD and Khan are like 6 and 7, and then Gorilla's like 107, which isn't bad for support. And Gorilla's obviously proven himself. He's been the best support in the game for the last 2 years. So he's a proven player. But anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time on pick ban because this is like the third game I've seen on this patch, and so I really don't know what the pros are doing. One thing I can say though is that overall, so they're going to end up locking in the Gragas here, which I think is really kind of awkward because like on one hand, I can see where they'd want some disengage and maybe a hair bit more of AP damage, but Jarvan is the pick that counters Gragas. And on the side of Longzhu, I think Longzhu actually has a really well-rounded team comp. I haven't seen much of Jarvan top, but one thing that's a classic, Jarvan jungle used to be used, and it used to be Jarvan Orianna. So you ball up Jarvan, he cataclysms, and then you shockwave, and if they don't have flash, they all die. Also, the Ashe Syra lane brings a lot of utility and crowd control, and Elise gives a little bit of pick, so like you can make picks with the Ashe Syra, but you can also start team fights. They have countless ways to engage. It's just a very well-rounded comp. And because what's going to end up happening is because of the picks that are made, they pretty much have a winning top lane, a bot lane that's a coin flip, just depends on jungle pressure and top lane TP pressure, and then a mid lane that's very stable. You're gonna see that Longzhu ends up getting the better of the game. I've already seen this game. I just watched it as a fan, a spectator. I haven't looked at it analytically. Something that it's also notable to note. Notable is that Elise provides a lot of early game pressure compared to the Graves, and so Elise is going to have a lot more dive pressure and a lot more kill pressure on ganks early in the game, whereas Graves is going to look to farm, scale, and be that third secondary or third carry threat heading into the late game. A couple other things is that the bot lane is very CC and ultimate reliant, and so both bot lanes really want level 6, and KT kind of notices this and they end up picking Taliyah mid very early in the rotation. So that means if you pick a Taliyah, you're going to look to pressure a lot of side lanes. Taliyah is a champion that I think is actually pretty strong. I like to play her in solo queue, even though she's a pretty bad solo queue champion. But she was very prominent in the group stages of MSI and then totally dropped off, or the play-in stage and then totally dropped off in the group stage. I'm not sure if that's because better mid laners were punishing her harder in lane. But yeah, so anyway, I'm going to get into the game here as we get the swaps, all that good stuff. And all right, this is about where we start. So KT goes for a semi-cheesy level 1. They don't get anything out of it and actually lose a lot. So what we're going to see here is that Elise and Cuz, they're going to ward up this red side jungle. So pretty much if Graves starts red side, they're going to know where he starts and what time. This is a smart play from Longzhu, and they actually win this level 1 because Gorilla is going to make it back to base in time, and they get the vision advantage. And KT got no knowledge from that. So you can see your Khan's just dropping that ward as late as possible, and he drops it there because he wants to see what camp Graves is going to do. So he drops it late because if he starts Raptors and then goes to red, he still sees him at red, and then they get even more knowledge because they'll know that the Raptors are gone. So here we are. Deft and Mata, because Gorilla was forced to base, they were able to step up there, get a little bit of cheesy harass down. It's really important to get in the lane first in these professional bottom lane games. And also, you can argue that they have the winning lane in the MF Forest, but I think Ashe Zyra is just such a strong lane that despite Misfortune countering the Zyra, I think Zyra is just a much more well-rounded pick. And you can see here, Def steps up to E and gets punished really hard from Prey. And there is a slight difference in Keystone Mastery. So a couple things that I thought were interesting this game is that, so first off, Pawn is against Ashe, Zyra, Elise, so he takes Cleanse, which is the right call. That's very important. There are so many things that can trouble Pawn in the mid lane, so he ends up taking Cleanse. And then the other thing that's really important is that Def takes Warlords, whereas Prey opts for Fervor both games. So I think Prey, he's more looking to win the lane a little bit harder. Maybe he's relying on the fact that he doesn't need the move speed in later team fights since he's Ashe and he already slows all of his enemies. I think Warlords, or the new Warlords, is super strong on any long range AD carry. And this is kind of a lane where you aren't really looking to win. It's more of a go even. Also, I apologize in advance for saying a lot. It's a part of me thinking, and I need to get better at that. Oh yeah, Doran's Shield's also super broken. So both ADs have opted for Doran's Shield in a double range lane, which I think is really good against Zyra, because whenever those plants proc, it procs the Doran's Shield passive, which is way too strong. And also, I believe it reduces. I don't know. I think the plants do magic damage, but they might count as auto attack damage. I'm not sure. That's something I might have to test in the practice tool. You can see up top, Khan has already a big advantage. Jarvan punishes Gragas pretty hard in the early game. One thing that's also interesting is that Talia took MR blues, like flat MR. She got 42 MR. I wonder why. I haven't stalked any. Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm gonna go over the jungle pathing real quick. Okay. So this is pretty smart from Graves, what he's gonna end up doing here. Score is just such a smart jungler. Everyone says that Peanut's better. I think that Score is better, like overall. And I think this is one of the reasons why. So Score's gonna go Raptors, red, and he kind of guesses that Elise is on Raptors, but no matter how Elise paths, she's rarely going to take Krugs on her first clear, because Krugs brings her really far away from her blue buff, and it's just an inefficient path. Also, if you go red into Krugs, you take way too much damage. And with that, I'm going to pull up my Epic Pen real quick. Epic Pen. Oh, I don't have it installed. No. All right, whatever. I had to reface my computer. No. Okay. So both junglers go from Raptors to red. They're both going to move towards the other side of their jungle. Elise knows where Graves is, but doesn't know, or Graves doesn't know where Elise is, but he's going to have a very good educational guess here. Because Krugs are always going to be open, and because Graves clears relatively faster, he's going to do Scuttle Crab, go down to Krugs, which is a very efficient path, by the way. So he secures vision for his bot lane. He has total bot control right now. So bot's free to play as aggressive as they want. Because A, they know Elise isn't here because of Talia's ward and because of the Scuttle Crab being taken in the river. Even Elise, with how creative she can be, with repelling over into the Cloud Drake, they would still spot her. And he's going to take Krugs. So bot has total control. And Elise only knows that Graves is on the bot side of the map. So I just think that's like a very intelligent path from Score. He knows 100% that those Krugs are going to be up, and by doing this, he's going to give his bot lane um, a slight advantage, not as big as they should get from him showing here. And also Gorilla, like Longzhu knows that he's bot side. That's a really smart word from Gorilla. Doesn't pull him out of the lane, doesn't put him at risk for face checking Graves. Nice safe ward. Sees Graves early here. It's going to end up saving their butts a little bit. Okay, so Score shows, and because they know Score's on the bottom side of the map, you can see Elise fully cleared her top side, and she's going to go show up at Krugs. So right now, Elise is up. She's up Wolves and Gromp. Graves had one creep from. So Raptors is 6. He had one plant. So 7, 8, 9, 15, 16. I might be missing one. Anyway, here goes Score. And I think a couple things that prevent him from getting a really nice gank off here is A, that ward, B, their bot lane was actually level 3. So while his bot lane was level 2, and here, so Smeb plays this wonderfully. Smeb actually didn't need a flash there. So Smeb plays this very well, but he also could have gotten more out of this. Okay, so first off, Smeb sees the wave. First thing he's going to do, or Smeb sees Elise. First thing he wants to do is clear the wave, because this forces Longzhu to make a decision faster. And also, right now, there aren't enough minions on the wave for them to like properly, perfectly set this up. So it's kind of failed. And then Smeb plays this mechanically beautifully. So that tower shot from Khan is really big, because the tower, how it works, is it winds up. So especially early game, every consecutive shot it has on an individual champion, it does more damage. And every consecutive shot it has on champions in general, it also does more damage. When it switches aggro, the damage falls off a bit. But what's going to happen here is that you can see Smeb hits level 4, which is big, because then he gets another point. I wish that I could click on Smeb and see if he actually levels up E here. But Elise is going to throw the cocoon, which hits him. She had to walk around the minions, but he's going to kind of cancel the stun of the cocoon by kind of procking up his body slam. So because the cocoon hits during the channel the body slam still goes through. It doesn't cancel it. And he ends up hitting Cuz, and with the tower that does a lot of damage. So here, he didn't have to flash, and actually if he ended up autoing Khan, because Khan used all of his abilities, and Elise already got her Q off. So if he ends up autoing Khan here, he actually picks up the kill. Because he lives with 44 health. If he got one auto in there, I bet it would have been pretty damn close. So that's like pretty hard not to flash there in a competitive game, because if you flash, you're guaranteed to get out. You aren't really taking a risk. Not flashing, you are taking that risk to die. Especially against Elise, who is ranged. But I think because the tower hit Khan early and was already wound up and doing that much damage, I think he could have gotten away with it. Score showing up right as the Raptors spawn. He hasn't based yet. After he ganked bot, he went, cleared his blue side jungle, and then pops up at Raptors right as they spawn. Once again, just fantastic jungler. Like, so efficient and so smart in his pathing. Oh yeah, one thing I thought that was interesting this game is that Pawn took Storm Raiders, which I don't really get on Talia. So Smeb's playing kind of aggressive because he's up a level and in his own minion wave. And Pawn is just really playing far out. Hang on, let me backtrack here, because I'm trying to keep jungle is like one of my weakest roles, so it's hard for me to keep track of that. It's like probably the role I have least amount of like instinctual knowledge about. I just have to work a lot harder to understand what the jungler is doing. So because no, Graves hasn't. When was the last time Graves was seen? Sorry. This is like really important. So Graves is seen here, and he clears his bot side. He's not seen again, is he? Cuz is just guessing this. He's guessing correctly. So what's important to note here is that he's going to use... Is this pinged out? That didn't get pinged out. So I don't think they saw him because they still had Scuttle Crab. The Scuttle Crab vision would have seen him use that plant, the vision plant. I don't think he did. So I think Cuz is guessing here when he goes to invade. But also he has a base and he's level 4 and he's going to guess that he's also stronger. So right there, Score knows that topside jungle is clear for Cuz, and he's guessing that he based. So you can see the danger ping going on bot side here. They're saying, hey, Cuz is bot. And Cuz gets 2 wards down, which are very nice. So if Graves shows in his bot side jungle, Longzhu is going to see it. And these 2 wards, it tells Longzhu, like, hey, he is not... Like, it gives these pro players a lot more knowledge than just, like, he's not bot side. So Mata knows the camp's down. So they know that they see Cuz now. So they know Cuz is top. So this means that Graves is going to... If that was any other dragon, I think he takes it. But he's going to do Scuttle. And then he might do Cuz's Krugs again. Oh, I know there's Grom spawning here in a second. So he gets seen. He's trying to set up a gank bot. I guess he walked around because he didn't want to get... A, he was slightly indecisive, and B, he didn't want to get seen by any wards placed by the bot lane. I was going to say screw it and go take Grom. So Cuz actually gets ahead here. He gains some traction because he's able to farm 3 camps in that duration. He does Gromp, Wolves, and Krugs. And I don't know, does Longzhu know where he's at? Yeah, they do. They pinged him out. And Talia's hovering bot. Oh, yeah, I think the reason they don't go, like they don't pull the trigger on this, is because Jarvan's out of vision. So they don't want the 5v5/4v5, and also their bot lane isn't 6 yet. So they don't know how much they could actually get out of it. Because pawn 6, he wants to use his Weaver's Wall. Like, he's looking to make a play now for the rest of the game. As he gets rocked in that trade. Pawn's even, but now, because Orianna's level 6 gives her a damage threat, whereas his is a utility threat, you're going to see that Orianna's going to start taking more, or gaining some traction in this matchup. Man, that's another word from BDD. Both teams are actually doing a very nice job of tracking the jungler. But Score doesn't care. He's just going to farm out his top side here. He's Graves. He's okay with farming. And so far, his lanes are hanging in there. One thing that was interesting about this series is that each game, Deft went Essence Reaver, while his Prey went Bork Ash still. I'm not really sure which build is best now, because I think there's a lot to say for the Essence Reaver Ash. Like, you get more arrows. I don't feel like Ash can really win this matchup with the Bork. I think it's if she goes Essence Reaver, it's a draw, even if Varus would go Bork. And so you provide more utility for your team, and it's slightly better later in the game. Well, actually, it scales off crit. So crit scaling usually scales harder, even though the Bork passive is really strong too. All right, both junglers based, and they're pretty much even right now. which is just kind of important to note. You'll notice that both of them grabbed sweepers on this base. Second base, they have the tracker's knives. They want the sweepers now. They're just looking for vision control. Something that's also interesting to note is, ooh. I'm gonna watch this out and then we'll replay it. So I was talking, okay, real quick. I'm gonna go back to this fight. And then I was talking about junglers. So right when Prey hits 6, I think he fires out the arrow. Oh wait, I got a while. Yeah, so Elise had, like, each jungler hasn't done too much. I think Graves got a summoner at a bot. He hasn't found Elise yet. Elise hasn't found him yet. They've been farming it out. Graves is up. Elise is Krugs. The one that he was able to counter jungle that once. That's the difference. Each has done a good job of tracking each other. And overall score has really dictated the pace. Cuz's would-be successful tower dive was botched because the minion wave was too low when he came. He was just a hair late. Okay, so we're about to have a fight break out, and what's important to note here is that each jungler is on the bot side of the map because they know Graves right now is looking to take blue and do something bot, like straight up. He has nothing else. He's gonna bot is where it's at. Varus is 6. You have Talia on your team. KT really wants to all in bot. That being said, that's not a bad option for Longzhu either. So Prey, oh, I didn't see that. Prey's gonna check with Hawkshot. I don't see where that goes. Okay, so he fires arrow. Prey checked the bottom side of the map for score. He checked the river. He didn't see score in the river. Gorilla has 6. Mata doesn't. They think they can win. And they also have Elise on the bottom side of the map. Jarvan also stepped down. So I believe he steps into that bush and teleports. I want to watch this slow. So Deft has a decent flash. Returns the ultimate. But the issue is that Gorilla has a beautiful engage. And he's going to hit a double snare, I believe. Nope. But he still snares Varus, who is flashless. Exhaust him, and he's going to die. Gragas channels teleport first. But his teleport is far away from the fight. Whereas J4's teleport is perfect. Not only is it right on top of Deft and Mata, it's also going to block off Graves and Talia as they try and join the fight. Orianna and Elise are trying to keep... Not only are they zoning Talia away from the fight, well, they're also making their way down themselves. Okay. Deft dies. I think this could have all been prevented if he flashed backwards towards this way, but I believe that he flashed towards his jungler because KT actually wanted to make a play, because this is their team comp. That being said, they did know Elise was in the river. She got pinged out before. Didn't she? Yeah. She gets pinged out here. Like, they know she's there. He also flashed towards the support. I think that he needed to just flash, like, straight back and right. And Mata needed to take the long way around. Also, Prey plays this so beautifully. Like, he knows his champ's limits. He's gonna perfectly execute the flash over the wall. And yeah, I think that Smeb actually misses here. Yeah, he does. Smeb missed his E. That's huge. They would have. So Gorilla's dead right now. They might have not even needed to commit the ultimate. And also, it should be noted that Score's ultimate is, while it does damage, it's useless because Prey just flashes out. I think Score misplays this. Smeb does too. Yeah, he flashed in the Cataclysm, and I don't know what Mata is doing walking that way. Why is Mata walking that way? Mata should just be running for the hills. Instead, he dies. He was walking towards Prey, and now he just sacrificial lambs to Khan. Also, what is this Talia wall? Hold on. I'm going to guess that he walled off Orianna. Yeah, he walled off Orianna and Ori flashed over. Okay, that's not necessarily too bad then. But he had to burn Flash earlier. When did he burn Flash? I really wish I could see this. Oh, he got caught in the river. That's so dumb. Wait, that's actually horrible. Wait, Pawn played so bad this series. He knows Elise is there. Right now. He's about to ping her. Why is he staying here? He stays here, and then he just flashes out. That's horrible. Like, at least by walking into the lane, you have better odds of not using flash, because, like, he's just betting that Elise is going to walk by him. God damn. No wonder Longzhu wins this so big. Like, why is Mata walking this way? He should be running for the hills. I'm okay with the Talia ult, though. Like, I also think that if she uses it to get into the fight first, this could be totally different. Orianna had flash. And now it's just like, neither of them get in the fight, and his team loses. In fact, Orianna gets there first and uses Shockwave, finish up the last kill. That's horrible play from Pawn, like straight up. That was like some Diamond 2 level crap. Okay. So now we reset. Cuz gets Scuttle and bases. Let's assess. So Khan picked up 2 kills. That's big, because J4 already beats Gragas. And he's about to eat that. He can eat that wave top. BDD is just going to start smashing Pawn, who doesn't have flash and only has cleanse. So that gives it, puts a lot of kill pressure into that lane, actually, because then he can't flash an Orianna ult. So Pawn has to position really carefully, which might be part of the reason why he upgraded the, number 2 boots so quickly. Because Pen is really good on Talia, because her abilities apply like a lot consecutively. So like the Pen applies on every single rocket, for example. But he's going into defense now. He's just going like straight defensive. I believe he goes Morello's Banshees. I wonder what. So like Talia benefits a lot from Pen, but I wonder what pros. I wonder what pros would think about Merc Treads here. Because like Merc Treads would decrease damage from 3 out of the 5 sources. You might be able to skip Banshee's Veil then and go into the Andres, which actually gives you health and more pen, and also the passive, which is like percent damage, which would be good for Jarvan. Because the Banshees doesn't help you that much because you already have cleanse. ENC, Varus Graves Ninja Tabby, just too strong of an item. They need to scale that back a bit. It's really dumb that like 80 carries are taking Ninja Tabby. Okay. So I think that Flash from Cuz was slightly cautious, but I also think it shows that while he's a young player, he's actually pretty smart. Like there's something about cautious, overly cautious flashes that I really respect in League because it shows that you're intelligent enough to assume what could happen, and in a game where Cuz is ahead, he realizes that my team loses more from me dying here than they would gain from a risky pull like me saving Flash. Also, I'm gonna kind of want to look how Graves got so far ahead. I'm going back pretty long ways. Because all of a sudden I look at the scoreboard and Graves has like a 30 CS lead. So it seems like Graves was able to clear his topside jungle early. Yeah, he just cleared his topside jungle before Elise cleared the counterpart side. Also, you can see the power of Elise there, like finding Graves in the mid game. And then you can see the power of the J4 against the Gragas. Khan actually is a sick outplay here. I wouldn't say like sick, but just like very clean. It was well played. Because Longzhu's up, they can afford like this pink ward setup is so diabolical, and especially because they don't like Smeb doesn't have TP, and now Smeb is just down really far. Pinking here and here guarantees that like your jungler just has total pressure on the lane, and KT's weaker. They're down a level each, so they can't shove up. And also because of the itemization, Ashe is stronger, and Zyra's also stronger too. Such a late cleanse from Pawn. Cuz got a little ambitious there. Even if Mata... they're cooked on Ori. I wish he had cooked on Elise. Even if Mata's not here, I think he still dies. But this is smart from Cuz. Because Pawn didn't have Flash. And he already has double pink mid. Yeah, that was really close, actually. Also, I think BDD could have pathed a little bit differently. Like, why doesn't BDD path this way? This looks like a miscommunication to me. Also, BDD had shield. So if he popped Ghost there, Cuz lives. And it's only Mata. That's a miscommunication. Cuz wanted to commit, BDD didn't want to commit. Just a bad play. Like bad communicational play. On the flip side though, we're about to see this replay of the J4 solo killing Gragas, which is pretty sick. Also, I think because of the new tank itemization, like, I want to really get a pro player's opinion on this, but I really don't think that... I think tanks are a little bit weaker in lane. Like, let's put it this way. With the old itemization, if a tank like Shen got ahead, you would just beat any fighter in a 1v1. Because Sunfire, Ninja Tabby, like Randuin's, or Deadman's Plate against a Jax, or like even like a Fiora, it was just too brutal to deal with. Like the consecutive damage from Sunfire, and then like the tank's kit, but mostly Sunfire and a bit of Deadman's, like it just gave a tank too much. So with scaling Sunfire back, you make it more of like a wave clear pushing option. And not as much as a, hey, take this and you do like 20, like you take this and you have to take it because if you don't, then like you're missing out on like 20 damage a second against your opponents. Like if you're tanking, just brawl. I think changing that item, I like it because it makes itemization more diverse, but also it takes away that fact that like tanks get free trading stats. So now if you're a tank, like you're actually turtling during lane, and lane is pretty tough. And it's like Smeb got solo killed, and it's Smeb. Like, he's not a slouch of a top laner. He was the best player in the world at this time last year. You can argue on that if you want, but yeah, you can see here with Ashe being up a level, slightly favorable itemization, just really brutal. Pawn is so bad. Okay. Pawn, first off, I think it's really important to know that Pawn gets nothing from this wall. He gets absolutely nothing. Second off, I don't think Score's necessarily significantly outplaying Cuz, but he is outpacing him at the moment, and which is like really good for the Graves, what you want. So Score realizes if I don't touch top, we lose the game because J4 runs away with this matchup. So he does. And because of Storm Raiders and Flash, he gets a really nice gank off. Pawn is doing nothing up here. Orianna goes respawn, and I think this is actually like the wrong decision. I think Ori should have shoved up her lane. She could have crashed her wave squarely into Talia's. They are making the right decision now, though. By even like with that path, you cut off Talia from coming back to lane, no matter what. So she would have to go around the red buff and through Raptor Bush, and even that would be a slightly aggressive path. And now they're going to shove it in. I guess he doesn't miss much, just like a little bit of damage. Oh, yeah, here's a solo kill. This is sweet. I think it's really smart of Khan that he waited for the creeps to even out and a level advantage to go all in. Just like it's not like, oh my gosh, he just like that was a nice, play on abilities, but it's not like he totally outskilled his opponent. He just waited for the advantage and took advantage of it. This is well played. Like that's something that you can do back home. I guess that's my point. Okay, so it's important to note now that you can see a slight lead forming as the Ashe over the Vars. Especially considering that I believe Zyra plants still count in CS. I know they changed that in one of the patches, might be 7.11. So yeah. Also, really early QSS from Ashe. I actually really like this. When you're ahead, not that Longzhu has a massive lead by any means, but I think they're very far ahead in map pressure compared to what the score is saying in the game. If you think about it, top lane is how top lane is at the moment is like you're forced to send the jungler up there or Jarvan's gonna run away with that lane. How bot lane is at the moment is that Ashe and Zyra are at the enemy turret the entire game. Graves is having a lot of trouble counter jungling, and while he's up a significant amount of CS, which is the only reason that they're in this game, he's not able to, snowball quite as hard as he wants. Oh, beautiful heal there from Prey. I guess we'll watch that over real quick. There's not a lot to say about this one. So that ward, I assume Gorilla dropped it just now. It's very nice. Good ultimate from Deft, hitting the frontmost target. Nothing wrong with that. But you're going to see here, level advantage from Prey, and Gorilla is actually going to play a big part here. So Gorilla hits a wonderful combo here on Mata, and it's going to net him a kill. Not only did he hit all of his abilities on Mata, he also got 3 plants with increased attack speed, which is the reason they end up getting the kill. Thankfully, Prey's auto flies through. And then here, you're going to see a heal and a shield from BDD, which is going to save Cuz. Khan teleports in. I think it's a nice teleport because it prevents KT from responding, and also it gives them the dragon. Cloud Drake isn't the best Drake of all time, but, you know, it does something. And also, he's going to turn this into more, which I think is pretty dumb from Pawn. You can see there they were setting up for the combo. He still had Cataclysm. And because of they got that flash, it was honestly a pretty nice TP there from Khan. They got a dragon, they netted the kill, and they got a flash out of it. That being said, they do lose first brick. And it does give Gragas a lot of breathing room now in this matchup. BDD knows that he's going to base, so he was kind of fishing for a shockwave there. If he hits it, it's a dead pawn. BDD probably bases after he hits this cannon creep. Nope. You can see how smart Drill is, just knowing how the map's being played. They didn't have vision of that, but they knew that wave was forming. There was a pink ward in there. Just drops a ward. I don't know if he saw the trinket or not. And see Khan, he knows that he net the flash, and he knows that Gragas is in base because he just took that tower and was out of mana. So just trying to make a play. Even though that fails, it shows that Khan and Longzhu as a whole have a really nice presence of how to play the map as a team. Because of that invade, and I believe they chunked Graves a bit, they forced him in base. Elise actually caught up a bit, was able to farm her bot side, which is where most of the creeps in the jungle come from in terms of creep score. So she was able to catch up. She was down at like almost 50. So BDD doesn't base, instead he takes blue, which means that he's good to go. And he already has Shockwave back, because it's a very low cooldown for Orianna, and he already has 27% CDR? Yeah. Oh. So once again, like he's up in this lane, and this is just like really smart play from him. If Blue Buff still gave AP like it used to back in season 3 or 4, it was kill. So he knows that he's up, and he's just doing math. And that was almost an incredibly calm and calculated kill. He did end up blowing both sums for it for none. So Pawn gets out with a win technically, but it was so close, I really don't count it. If he gets that solo kill, like mid-tower falls. Because that's their wave clear. And they can bring up Elise, who is still doing a very good job of controlling crabs. She does need to clear out some of the wards in her jungle, though. Score is keeping up. He's doing the score thing, where he reads the game better than any other jungler. Right now, he's just trying to establish control in bot river, because KT has never been able to pull off the play they want. Like they wanted that bot fight around level 6 with the Talia, but she wasn't able to get in there. And J4 had a better ward than TP2, and Smeb missed his flash body slam. And also Motto like mispositioned, and then Def was just caught a little bit. Deft didn't play well this series. Not what I expect out of Deft. And now the game's a little boring. I'm surprised no one takes Rift Herald. I say the game's a little boring, and now this. Okay, let's go over that. So, Khan wants the red buff, and this was seen, because he walked through. I'm going to assume that ward was down. I don't know because the replay. It was. So, Pawn has a garbage wall, because he just blast cones over. If Pawn drops that wall further back, he, like, back here, around like on top of the Herald. I don't think he wanted to aggro the Herald. Let's say he drops it over here. So he doesn't aggro the Herald. He still forces Khan to EQ up towards the red buff, and the wall is still there to stuff him. Whereas Khan now kind of waltzes out for free. So now, this is good for KT. They already have Khan chunked, and Ashe is in the bot lane. And I believe, I'm going to see if they know this real quick. So I'm going to replay. They should be able to guess this. Whereas bot based, and so you can see when they saw Khan cross that ward, I bet you bot was here, and they would start waltzing up. It's a nice chunk from BDD. I think he could have given Khan the speed up though. So they're going to commit to Khan. And I really like this ball placement from BDD here. Like, it forces Deft and Mata back. That's really smart. And it just kind of buys time almost. And because of that ball, and because of how BDD paths, Deft's ultimate whiffs. That was really, really, really nice play. So now he's going to send it back here. He wanted to slow down Smeb. Smeb was smart here. He waited for Khan to flash. Then he throws out his ultimate, knocking Khan back in. Khan knows he's dead. And what I really like here from Khan is that he cataclysms, which gets 2 in there, including Pawn. Pawn should never be in that position, once again. See how Pawn gets stuck. So right here, okay. So Smeb also knocks BDD back, which is good. Like, that's a win-win. I guess Pawn was positioned okay, but he should also kind of be smart enough to guess. Score flashes over. They know how important Khan is. He kind of blows Waste's ultimate there because he thought that he was going to EQ out. And because both are in Cataclysm, Zyra and Orianna just blow their load and they end up picking up Pawn. That Ashe ultimate could have been placed a little bit better, but if anyone comes over the wall, they die. So it's also not bad. So that was wonderfully played from BDD. Like straight up, that ball move to that over this wall right here, like saved them the fight. Because like the threat of Shockwave on the 2 squishies got Deft to move back, and because BDD then path forward, the Far Assault missed. I want to go back here. Let's see if like there's any way KT could have won this. KT really played these fights poorly. So first off, Pawn, better wall, would probably net the free kill on Khan. Is Score committed more forward there? I think he goes in. There's also the option, no, he would die. Def can't flash forward. So Def actually whiffed. He just zoned, him and Mata are zoned out of the fight. So because how Khan pathed, Longzhu almost turned that into a 4v3. And because of BDD's ball, which was like really, really, really smart play. That's pretty like stoic play, which is from BDD, who's been advertised as a raw mechanical player, is something I wasn't expecting to see. Cuz is just kind of being cute here, trying to get a face check. This is what you do on Elise. I also think they first picked Elise because Score is so good on that champion. I'm just going to skip over this. We went over it. Wait. Oh boy. I wish I could see this play develop. No. Oh, yay. There? Okay. Sorry. I'm like, if you could tell, like, I have the thing running up top. All right, I'm gonna like the speed. Okay, so I can't see the minimap live. So I'm gonna assume that Gorilla based, and they went bot, and they went to go get wards, and they slightly overextended. So I'm gonna try and gather what's going on the bottom of the screen real quick. It's in the bottom left. So Gorilla walks up for a ward. Score is already there. God, Score is so smart. Like, Mod is there too. They go all in on Gorilla. They flash in to try and kill Gorilla. Because Score had a poor Q, they fail. And because Def flashed in, he dies. God, they weren't even close to killing Gorilla too. Smeb TP's in late and dies. Does BDD's challenge? Yeah, he started channeling TP right then. Smeb goes a second after. That's the best TP spot Smeb could have gotten. So Def sacrificial lambs himself. Also, Oriana's there instead of Talia, and Elise is in there, which is like... Smeb knows he's dead, so he just kind of knocks one in because he eat in. Ugh. Okay. God, KT's just like out of sorts. And this Talia pick is just Pawn is just awful. He's down 40 creeps. He doesn't have a single good ultimate, which is like why you picked Talia. That Q from Score was interesting. I wonder if he queued it up before he got E'd, and then like he just didn't cancel and update it. That was a horrible Ian from Smeb. He didn't need the trade there. And they traded for the support. It's not worth it all. You can see here that Varus now picked up a QSS too. Important to note. Hey, they pulled off their play, and Pawn's gonna die for it. Oh, wow. So Mata and Pawn flash for that. Okay. Well, let's see this. So KT's like, Gorilla's in the river and doesn't have flash, let's go. So Pawn just goes. So what's important to note here is that once again, bot lane's still down a level. Pray it's a nice arrow. Pawn's able to get his E off. Gorilla chains it perfectly. That being said, Gorilla can't dodge Def's R. But because Pawn went in so aggressively, he kind of has to flash out. And Mata has to flash out too. I think Mata could have maybe gotten away without flashing out. Oh no. So BDD's ghosting in, which I like a lot. It's really smart. How did Khan get in on this? Okay. So Smeb's top. Yeah, Smeb's top. So Longzhu's like, let's go. KT overcommitted for that. So like KT can't make that play. Smeb has to be mid. Smeb has to walk down mid for them to make that play. Because then Smeb can follow if they go in. And they lose Inferno off that. And they lose a man too. God, that's awful. Smeb would have been just as good staying top and just farming out. What I was trying to think about before that play happened, this game exploded a little bit, is like, is Adaptive Helm good on Gragas here? Because I know that Gragas like has some self-healing and benefits from Spirit Visage a bit, but Adaptive Helm would be really good against the Zyra, because every plant he'd take less damage. And Orianna throws her ball a lot, be 15% less damage. This is smart from Khan, by the way. He could have went for Misfortune. And I know the casters were touching on this if you listen to this. He could have went from MF, but no, he's just gonna take the AD carry. Take the AD carry and get out clean. And turn that into an Infernal. Like just really nice decision there from Longzhu. They look good. They're making a lot of nice decisions. Really showing that their BDD has been very impressive. You're going to see here that Smeb's going to start turning this matchup a bit now that he is able to max W. The shield is what makes it really annoying. KT dumped 3 members in the con. He gets out thanks to like 2 Jarvan shields and a nice EQ out. And a poor flash from Smeb once again. And they get a tower out of it and bot priority. So that means they own the entire bot side of the map. Which you can see Elise just lit up with her 2 wards again. And KT wards are a little bit too deep. They need to work on getting their jungle back and getting vision into the river. They need to give up the enemy jungle. You can see the 2 red wards in their bot side jungle. Got that. Oh, he got off a 3rd shield. Wow. MF did a lot of damage there. I don't think MF's that good anymore. There's so many better counters to Zyra, and you already had the Varus, who does double damage to plants anyway. So like MF's passive is worthless. Why not pick Karma? They know Mata doesn't have flash. Dead. It's only a support, but they only invested 1 ultimate into it too. Like it's smart play. That was a good chunk from Pawn. It was clever. They were moving into the bot side of the or top side of the map. So while Prey was showing up, support and jungle together, really clean, just getting vision. The pink wards from KT are very defensive, but they're gonna help out a lot. You can see BDD does not want to give up mid, so he's just gonna sack an ultimate. Not the worst decision in the world, not a mistake. He was close to catching someone too, would have been a nice chunk. And they still get to win out that. They get a tower for nothing. So now KT are sitting down 4k gold. They're down 2 turrets and 2 dragons. And on top of that, their solo laners are down, or their 2 carries are up 50 and 30 CS respectively. And Jarvan's got way more gold than Gragas. Because Jarvan's been very involved in kills. High skill participation on the team. Khan is moved very well. Really greedy bases from Deft is actually a big deal, stopping those 2 bases. Like, it just keeps the momentum going for Longzhu. It's a wasted time for KT. They're gonna move in, they took out a pink, and the Baron dance is on. Khan's in the bot lane with TP. Longzhu is taking control of the topside jungle. They're doing this textbook. This is something that actually in high ELO solo queue, when you get up to above Diamond 5, like good teams can easily reproduce. The tough parts, like where they get caught out, is that they'll have their top laner split without vision, which Khan has pretty much the only ward he needs if he's going to be here on the map. Or they'll not check the brushes correctly. And now Cuz gets to benefit a bit, take away some of Graves' jungle. And Cuz really isn't behind. Graves did finish his major item, but Cuz's items are... Oh, this is aggressive. Jeez, okay. So let's check this. So look at these Longzhu wards. They got a ward here, and top try, above the wall, in the bush, and they C2 right here. Right when they commit for that pink ward, they go. So this play, like what we would do in our team is someone would say, if they pass this point, you're gonna TP. And also what's also important is that Khan is already shoving this lane. So if he TPs, his lane is gonna hit the tower. And also he has TP and Gragas doesn't. So Gragas has to walk. And Longzhu should know this. So you're gonna see Cuz walk up and cut him off. He's gonna kind of find score. He's gonna trick out Pawn. Pawn tries to wall on out, but because this damage goes through, Pawn can't ride the wall. Free kill. And once again, Pawn play. Why is he there? Like, why does he walk there? BDD comes. Oh my god, that's so bad. And why doesn't he flash? He could have walked north, threw down his slow field, and walled out. Like, he is straight up awful this series. Like, it's hard to watch. His Fizz game's even worse. I'm not going over that game. I was picking between the two because his Fizz game is just like worthless. He goes like 0-4 and gets hit by Ash arrows as Fizz. And he like ease in when he sees the jungler. Alright, so they kill Pawn. This is a free Baron. Score has a nice try here. Khan goes over the wall to try and prevent Score from doing this. Cuz smites perfectly fine before the damage even goes through, and now Khan's in, so Khan's just going. Khan doesn't care if he dies. Really nice ult there from Deft. And that slow from Mata should be down here. Like, that Chain of Corruption from Deft saved them all. Like, just really smart. And now they're going to reset. I don't know why Prey is shoving that wave out. He has no reason to, unless he really wants an item. He didn't base. Okay, so I think he's going to base after drag. That does slow down a little bit. No, he's not. So Prey, I wonder how much gold he's sitting on. Probably a lot. I don't know. He has an array of items though. He probably can afford a major one and they decided to stay out. So let's see if they do this correctly. So they get both waves to crash on 2 towers at the same time, which is fine. You can see that KT, the way that you actually beat Baron is that you attack minion waves. So they already know that they're going to sack these 2 towers. They just have to lay up here attacking a minion wave. Khan takes... he gets Smeb's ult, so he doesn't really care that much. What's bad about this, though... Well, actually, I don't know. I actually don't know what the correct play is. So Pawn hard shoves this. I wonder, like, if he soft shoved it, if it would be better, because now it's going to push back into him. But I guess if he soft shoved it, okay, Longzhu would get a bigger wave coming back and later. So yeah, he should have hard shoved. So Khan bases because he was chunked. He goes top. He doesn't have TP. So if Deft wasn't mid, Deft shouldn't be mid. They should have guessed that he would have based, and they should commit here. Like, they should just all in. Smeb has TP. Smeb should TP down here, and they should just, like, go, and if they lose the game. Like, it's better than getting choked out, because they don't have late game. MF falls off compared to Zyra. Ashe and Varus are... Varus is stronger, but, like, not by a significant amount. Orianna gets stronger as the game goes. Jarvan and Gragas... Okay, Gragas and Graves outscale a bit, but, like... At the deficit they're at, I don't think enough. And I also don't think KT has like the CC to like really. They don't look coordinated. Like Only SKT could pull off this comp with this much CC, to be straight up honest. You can still see Def with a perfect QSS. He's so good at that. I know I'm speeding this up. Once again, KT trying to attack minion waves. You can see that Khan formed a slow push in the top lane before he came. And now he's going to grab the minions, and he actually pushes too hard. So this is an error. He wants those minions to hit. I guess Baron's almost up. But he wants those minions to hit as soon as like another wave hits a tower. Or like he wants them to hit late. But Baron's out now. So maybe that's why you hard shoved it. Usually you want your mini waves to hit identical. So like this is good. Like they have the mid wave hitting mid almost as top's about to hit it. Like this wave's not big enough. Smab did his best. He sacked his life bar to thin it out. Wait, they still have a Baron left? What? Oh, Elise took the mastery point for increased buffs. And that's straight up nuts in the the tower. Wow. Interesting. Really interesting. Okay, I just saw Gragas' healing. Spirit Visage is probably better than Adaptive Helm then. If he was against a Galio, Adaptive Helm is better. I think Adaptive Helm is like actually a pretty underutilized item. I think it's really strong. 15%'s a lot. Okay, so they sent 2 back. Prey needs... Oh, Prey did base. He got Phantom Dancer. Okay. Prey likes this build. It's like really auto attack heavy, really crit heavy. Helps you proc Bork a bit more. So the game plan now for Longzhu is to pretty much choke him out. So they had a reset. You can see there's no vision in their own jungle. It's all about the other guys. Cute smoke screen there from Score. But because they have the numbers advantage, they're able to thin out the wards. See Gorilla just littering their jungle with wards. Pawn trying to get what he can down on the side lane. Khan's going to go fix that. I wonder what they're going to do about bot lane, or if they're even going to fix it. Just Smab straighten that out right now. They've only lost like 1 tower. This is horrible. Pawn's played so bad this game. Wait. Also, like, Zyra has Locket and Redemption. Zyra didn't go any damage. Whereas MF has a Black Cleaver. Is that a Warmogs? It has both types of resistances. The health's not too bad. That's why he was regenerating so fast. Good combo with Spirit Visage. Oh, J4 got the item where you just like tank a bunch of damage. And he also got Iceborne. Spectator bug? Okay, so Khan's dead. Wow, he almost killed Pawn too. So Khan overextended there a bit. And they committed TP. That's anything you can take as KT is nice. That's like, I'm not going to say it's their most optimal play. I think they should have all in at that bot tower still, because they had numbers advantage, and they're probably not going to find a window like that for the rest of the game, but speed this up. Now they're just stalled out. Some nice poke there from Zyra. God, Zyra still hits so hard. Okay. Whoa. There's a lot going on in this fight. Is that an aggressive redemption? Oh, it's such a nice ball placement from BDD. Wow, I'm impressed with BDD's play. Okay, let's go see this fight. Where KT... Oh, wow, I almost skipped the right place. Okay. So... Where's Deft? Where's Deft coming from? Top lane? He doesn't want to... He's scared to farm. Goes back. Waiting for red. He should be, like, right by Mata right now if he played that right. He hit the S key by red. Oh, he might have pinked. Yeah, did he have a pink? If he has a pink, then he's off the hook. No. Yeah, he stalled 3 times to attack. Okay, he's fine. He's fine. Okay, so first off, I don't think he needed to commit this barrel. So pawn doesn't have ult. Because, like, if it knocks him out of pawn's Qs, and Gorilla has flash, which he doesn't, and also Smeb just gets decimated here. That's why they call Warmogs a joke of an item. Look at this damage. Like, he's taking damage from all 4. Nice stun there from Cuz. It's a good play there from Score. Also, Prey heals, like, Gorilla gets out. And Smeb went too deep. So now this is really cute. Because they see the ward, because he popped his trinket. So now he can jump to that ward, which is, like, nice play. Mata's exhausting him for the slow, so now he's forced to flash. And he's not going to E deft. And this ball placement is just so good. Like, first off, it's where deft's walking, right? It's like this ball placement just guarantees that he gets flashed. I actually think it's, like, almost too cautious. So you see deft has to walk around it. I think he could have thrown this right at deft, but he also wants to threaten pawn. And then he walks out and deft flashes. Wow. I'm impressed with BDD in this game. Like, straight up. He's really good this game. Gorilla throws down 1 pink to clear that ward and then throws on the other one. Just to get, they know they're going to Baron. And once Cuz can't find this kill. Now they saw MF going there because of the old minion wave. Now KT does sneak an Infernal off this. Oh my god, that damage. They still have a tower. Wait. How'd they clean all that up? So he gets thrown out. Nice flash from pawn. Okay. So he gets out because of his tower. That's a pretty poor Q from pawn. He could have angled that much better. Oh, Score whiffed ult. Ball and whiff Q. Now they clean up deft. And I think Ashe just, like, 1v2s them because they don't have anything left. Yeah. And that's game. BDD is already off shoving. They're going to get all the way. They're going to get top and bot to crash at the same time, which is what you want to do with Baron because it forces too much. Then they get mid, then they get triple inhib, and that's when the game's over. Yeah, they're done. You can see how Prey already knows that they're done, so he's, like, already walking towards, like, up towards the rest of the team. It's, like, one of the small things that just, like, makes Prey one of the best AD carries in the world. No matter what he performed like last season, that dude is a monster. He had perfect CS on Jhin one game, like, 18 minutes in. Like, what? I'll say the level differences. Across the team, it's 1, 3, 4. Oh, shit. Oh, that's my first swear, I think. 4, 5, 6, 7 levels. That's a lot. Each level is like 800 gold. So pawn just splits prey off, like then they can't do anything about it. It's actually not the worst late game Talia wall. Like this game's over. Like once again, that deft ultimate's fine, but it just doesn't matter. They have sums left over and they just run everyone over. Wow, that was really impressive play from BDD. All right, I didn't focus on anything. I just like went over this game in general. If you like this, let me know. I'm looking forward to hopefully doing more before I head off to my summer job. Um, I enjoy this kind of stuff. It makes me think about the game in a different way, and I believe it helps me get better. Um, that being said, if there's anything that you want to see me do, or like any game specifically, feel free to comment. If you made it to this point, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give me a like. If you didn't, feel free to give me a thumbs down and tell me what I can do better. I'm looking to get better at this. Any criticism I will take wholeheartedly if you take the time to actually think about it, and give me some positive feedback, like positive, negative feedback, whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I was impressed with BDD and Longzhu. We'll see what they look like with these young guys on the roster. But anyway, that's it for me for now. And yeah, thanks for watching once again. This is Cubby.